Hi, Robin. It's great to see you. So sorry for the delay. My computer decided to do some automatic updates, so I apologize for my delay.
No worries.
How are you today? Did you have a good weekend?
Yes, I did.
Excellent. I'm so glad to hear that. Alrighty, so tell me, what would you say would be maybe your main goal for today? What would be the most helpful thing for you today?
Just a refresher because it's been a while, just kick the
Yeah,
tires on everything just to see where it's at. The
absolutely. Love that.
THs wouldn't be a bad place to invest because
Right.
I seem to have forgotten them.
All right, absolutely. Yes, let's work on those THs. Yes. So the THs, one of the tricky things was remembering or knowing when to do voiced or unvoiced, and another is just creating that sound. They are one of the more challenging sounds because of the way that we shape them. One of the things that we've really been focusing on is the front of mouth movements with the tongue, with the lips. And so the TH is a great example of a sound that we have to adjust the front of the mouth a lot more. So let's go ahead and work through just the basic building blocks of how we create that sound. So we're going to focus on the articulators, what we're doing with these articulators. So focusing on the tongue and the lip and the teeth. So your tongue placement, you're going to lightly place that tip of your tongue between your upper and lower teeth, so in the middle, so that the tongue slightly sticks out forward. So you're going to have it actually sticking out a little bit beyond the teeth. And it's not just touching the top, not just touching the bottom, it's touching both. So it's not like really firmly crunched in there. It's very light, but it's between both and the tongue sticks out a little bit. Then you're going to send the air. Now the air is not going to flow under the tongue, it's only flowing above the tongue. So the airflow needs to be passing on top of the tongue and then through the teeth on top. One of the things we noticed in the past was that you had air escaping at the sides here, like in the side passages, the cheeks more. So we want to make sure that we direct that air down the center of the tongue. It's going straight forward over the top of the tongue. It doesn't creep out to the sides of the mouth where the side teeth are. It just stays very focused and right in the center of the mouth, flowing on top of that tongue, and then right out the center above the tongue.
Think, think, think.
So, one of the things I had you do in the past was kind of pinch the corners together. So that little
Yep.
pinch closes the sides. And so feeling almost like a slight rounding of the lip shape is going to help with that. So we have that unvoiced and voiced TH. They are the exact same shape, the same airflow. The only difference is going to be whether or not we vibrate the vocal folds. So voiceless is going to be very hissy, very airy.
Think,
It feels very soft, like a whisper, and there's no vibration. Think,
think,
thin, bath.
thin,
So try
bath.
some of those unvoiced. Now for the voiced, same shape, same tongue placement. This time we do vibrate the vocal cords as we push the air out. We send the air out. So if you touch your throat, you're going to feel those vibrations. Ooh, ooh, ooh. Feels kind of like a V, right? Ooh, ooh. So then we have this,
This,
that,
that,
mother. So trying some of those
mother,
voiced THs.
father, brother.
Exactly. Mm-hmm. Exactly. Yes. Good. So, how would you articulate how to make that TH
Are
sound?
there THs that are unvoiced in the middle of a word?
Hmm,
together.
Birthday, toothpick,
Birthday. Tooth. Toothpick.
mm,
Got it.
earthquake,
Okay.
pathway,
Birth.
anything.
Yeah.
So we do have some, yes. That's a good question. So
Thing.
let's try some words that have the TH sounds at the front, the middle, and the end of the words. So let's practice some of those unvoiced TH words with the TH in the center. Birthday.
Birthday.
Hmm.
Birthday. Birthday.
That one's a little tricky because
Birthday.
of the R before it. Birthday.
Birthday.
Birthday. Hmm.
Birthday.
Hmm.
Birthday.
And then
Birthday.
the th to the d is a little bit tricky too. Thd, 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 because the
Birthday.
tongue has to quick pull back and then flick. The day,
Birthday.
day. So that's a little bit tricky. Good. Earthquake is pretty similar. Earthquake,
Earthquake.
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 And the
Earth.
tongue there has to pull back, and the back of the tongue is going to lift and connect and then pop open.
Earthquake. Earthquake.
Earthquake,
Earthquake.
earthquake, earthquake.
Earthquake.
Yes.
Earthquake.
Let's try toothpick.
Toothpick.
Hmm.
Toothpick.
That one I think is a little bit
Toothpick.
easier. Toothpick, toothpick, pick.
Toothpick.
Because all you have to do is bring the lips together after the TH. So I think that one's a little bit easier. And then let's try pathway,
Pathway.
pathway. And you'll feel you have to
Pathway.
round the lips more after the TH.
Pathway.
Pathway.
Same thing with earthquake.
Yes.
In order to get that cue right, you really have to round your lips right before you
Yes.
start.
Right. Yeah, that's one of the trickiest things about those two. Pathway, earthquake, earthquake. For earthquake, I stay rounded the majority of the time during the word earthquake. Earthquake.
Oh, that's right.
Really only on the k at the end do I not round for that word. So before even starting the word, it's nice to have a round shape there. Good. Let's try anything. Anything. That one I think is a little bit easier.
Anything.
Yeah. So let's try some words that are going to have the TH at the beginning of the word. We'll start with unvoiced TH first. So we have think.
Think.
Mm-hmm. Thought.
Thought.
Thistle.
Thistle.
Mm-hmm.
Thistle.
Yes. Thin.
Thin.
Thick.
Thick.
Thirsty.
Thirsty.
Thoughtful.
Thoughtful.
A little more T there. Thoughtful.
Thoughtful. But that's voiced. Thought. No. Thought. Thought. No.
It's not voiced. The TH is
Thought.
unvoiced.
Thought.
Thoughtful.
Yep.
And the
That's
F
right.
is unvoiced
Thought.
as well. Mm-hmm.
Thoughtful.
Exactly.
Thoughtful.
Thorny.
Thorny.
Thorny. It might be helpful to be rounded before you start that word as well. Thorny.
Thorny.
Mm-hmm. Thrilling.
Thrilling.
Mm-hmm. Thrilling.
Thrilling.
Very good. Yes. Then let's try some of the let's try some voiced THs so that we can compare the,
The.
that,
That.
this,
This.
they,
They.
them,
Them.
their,
there,
then,
then.
thus,
Oh, when. No,
then,
then,
th, yes.
then,
Then, thus,
thus,
though,
though,
these,
these,
those.
those,
So for
those.
the th that's voiced, it's a lot of articles, a lot of words that specify these, those, this, right? They, them, their. It's more of the common articles and identifying words that are the voiced th. Thursday
Got it.
is a more specific
Thursday,
kind of word, and that's unvoiced, right?
Thursday. Yep,
So if we have
Thursday.
nouns, descriptive words usually will be unvoiced. Nouns will usually be unvoiced, like theme,
Theme,
theory,
theory, theory,
thermometer.
thermometer, thermar, thermar, thermometer,
That's a tricky
thermom,
one, isn't it?
thermometer, thermometer,
Thermometer.
thermometer, thermometer, thermometer,
Right,
thermometer,
4 syllables there. So that's a longer one, a trickier one. And the M's, you're changing the resonant space and the airflow. When you have the
thermometer,
M, the air has to change direction and go through the sinuses for the M's, but on the other sounds, it has to be passing through the mouth. So that's part of why that's so tricky is the air has to completely change direction in that word. Thermometer.
thermometer,
Hmm.
thermometer,
Yes,
thermometer,
much better. Yes.
thermometer.
Yes, good. Thief.
Teeth,
Ah, yes. And thief, like a thief in the night.
thief,
Throne.
throne,
That's a little bit tricky with the R afterwards, huh?
throne,
Throne.
throne,
Mm-hmm.
throne,
Thread.
thread,
Same kind of tricky element with that R following, except I think that the O shape, that really rounded shape after the TH and the R, is a little bit trickier than the after. Thrown, thread.
throne, thread,
Hmm.
thread,
Thunder.
throne, thunder,
Yes.
thunder,
So
thunder,
those were all
thunder,
nouns and they were all
thunder,
unvoiced THs. When we had thin, thick, thirsty, those are descriptive words and those were all unvoiced THs. Verbs will also usually be unvoiced. So we have think,
think,
thank,
think,
thaw,
thaw,
throbbing.
throb, throbbing, throbbing, throb.
Yes, like I hit my hand with the hammer and now my finger is throbbing, right?
Yep,
Throbbing, throbbing. Try
throbbing,
to pop the
throbbing,
air off the B. Throbbing.
throbbing,
Better. Yes. Yeah, that B really pops. Throbbing.
throbbing,
hmm Thrive.
thrive,
So all of those are verbs or action words, and they were all an unvoiced TH. Let's try 13,
13,
30.
13, 30,
Yeah, those
30,
both have the same kind of
13,
challenge there. 13,
30, 30,
30,
13,
Try to make that R shape with your lips before you even start the
third,
TH. Thir.
13, 30,
Mm-hmm.
13, 30,
Yes.
13, 30,
And then let's try third place.
third place,
Good.
third place, third place.
Thousand.
Thousand.
Good. Another voiced TH that we haven't done is therefore.
Therefore.
hmm So if you think of those common words that are articles, are connecting words, are identifying this, that, those, there, those would
That.
be
No.
voiced.
There.
But when we have those nouns, those verbs, some of those more descriptive words like adjectives, those tend to be unvoiced THs. So let's try some more THs in the center of the word and see how we do with these. So we already did some of those familial words like mother,
Mother.
father,
Father.
brother,
Brother.
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 That one I think is tricky because of the R before the TH and the R
Brother.
right after. So it's R, TH, and then another R. Brother, brother. Really pop
Brother.
the air out of the B on your way to the R. Brother, brother.
Brother.
hmm Brother.
Brother.
hmm Yes. And the doesn't need to be as rounded. Brother.
Brother.
Yes, much better. Very good. Another.
Another.
Gather.
Gather.
Rather.
Rather.
hmm Yes. So remember how I said that like the descriptive words, the nouns, the verbs, when that TH is at the front of the word tend to be unvoiced? Well, sometimes when the TH is in the center of the word, it might change. Um, or for the verbs, right? So, or descriptive words like adjectives. So when it's in the center, it can be a little bit trickier to know what it's going to be. So we have like another, gather, rather, but then if you have like healthy, right, or author,
Healthy.
method,
Author.
right, those would be unvoiced. So it's a little bit harder when they're in the center to have a hard and fast rule for that, whereas when it's at the start of the word, it's a lot easier to identify. So we're just going to go through some more of these center THs and practice those. Another,
Another.
gather,
Gather.
rather.
Rather.
Yes, so those are all voiced. So more descriptive words, leather,
Leather.
feathery,
Feathery.
northern,
Northern.
southern.
Southern.
Those are all voiced. Healthy is unvoiced.
Healthy.
hmm Worthy is voiced.
Worthy.
hmm Now some nouns. Author, unvoiced.
Author. Author.
hmm Author. And then
Author.
it like I feel like the instinct is to make it voiced because for something like mother, father, brother, those are all people, right? So I feel like the instinct would be to make it voiced, but it's unvoiced there. Author,
Author.
method,
Method.
athlete.
Athlete. Athlete.
That's a little bit
Athlete.
tricky because the
Athlete.
tongue is sticking out between the top and bottom teeth, and then the tongue has to pull back in and flick for that L. Athlete. Athlete.
Athlete.
So you have to actually
Athlete.
pull the tongue back a little bit.
Athlete.
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 And then the L and the
Athlete.
T are in similar positions for the tongue, but having to pull it back for that L. Athlete. Athlete.
athlete,
Mm-hmm.
athlete,
For the little flick. Good. Yes. Off that little ridge right behind the teeth. Very good. Panther.
panther,
Unvoiced. Good.
panther,
Now, clothing, voiced.
clothing,
Clothing is voiced.
clothing,
Yes. Birthday,
athlete,
unvoiced.
birthday,
Mm-hmm.
birthday,
That one's a little bit
birthday,
tricky with the R and the D.
birthday, birthday,
Birthday.
birthday,
Python, unvoiced.
python,
Mm-hmm.
python,
Yes.
python,
Let's try athlete again.
athlete,
Mm-hmm. Excellent.
athlete,
Good. With the stress on
ath-
the first syllable. Athlete.
athlete,
Mm-hmm. Excellent.
athlete, athlete,
Good.
athlete,
So now some of the verbs will have
athlete,
a voiced TH in there, like gather,
gather, gather,
gather,
gather,
smother,
smother,
bathing.
bathing,
hmm But then others might not be, like withhold.
withhold,
Yes, withhold.
withhold,
Yes, so that would be
anything,
unvoiced. Withhold.
withhold,
So it feels very airy because of that TH and the H right after it. So it feels very
mhm,
like air flowy and windy. All right, so together would be voiced.
together,
hmm Without, unvoiced.
without, without,
Without,
without,
without,
without,
without. So
without,
that's unvoiced actually.
out,
Without.
without,
hmm
without, without,
And something will be unvoiced.
something,
hmm Anything, unvoiced.
anything,
So I feel like the TH in the center of the word is a little bit trickier to know when to do what because there's not really a hard and fast rule for that. Now let's do some words that have TH at the end of the word. With,
with,
yep, unvoiced. Both,
both,
10th,
tenth,
month,
month,
cloth,
cloth,
truth,
truth,
health,
health,
wealth.
wealth,
So those are all unvoiced. Now we have smooth would be voiced.
smooth,
That's more of a descriptive word. But we also have some descriptive words that are unvoiced as well. Width, like the width of the board, is going to be voiced. Width,
with,
width. It's a D in there in the middle. Width,
with,
width.
with, with.
So we
No,
have
what's
to
the
do
difference
so
between
say wide
WITH?
and then width.
Wide, with,
Yeah,
with,
so it's like the D flick into the TH. Width,
with,
width, and then that
width,
unvoiced hissy TH.
width,
Width, width.
width,
And it's really
width,
hard to
width,
that
width,
one I think is a really tricky one. Duh, duh,
width,
duh,
depth, depth,
width,
depth,
width,
width,
width.
width,
Yeah,
width,
so if we have smooth,
width, width,
unvoiced, and then width,
width,
unvoiced
width,
TH. Yeah. The
width,
width of the
the width,
window.
the width. Oh, that's too hard.
It's a really tricky one. So you could instead say, I measured how wide the window was. It was this many inches or this many feet, right? Instead of saying the
4
width
inches wide.
of the window
Okay.
is this.
Oh, that's kind of sad that you have to exclude an entire word, though.
That's all right. You're going to practice it and it's going to get better.
With, with, with,
Yes, it's like with, but with the
with,
D in the middle. Width,
with,
width.
with, with,
Yeah, it's a
with,
tricky one. Let's try warmth.
warm,
So unvoiced again. So it's just warm with TH at the end. Warmth.
warm,
The
warm,
warmth of the fire
warmth,
sank into my
the
cold
warmth.
bones, right?
It's
Then
not, so it's not warm, th it's warm,
it's unvoiced. Warmth. So the
but
hissy,
this
airy
is,
TH.
isn't, when I say this, does it sound voiced or unvoiced? Warm.
Unvoiced. Warmth.
Okay. Warm.
Yes, perfect. Strength.
Strength.
Yep, unvoiced. Good. Some nouns. Growth,
Growth.
youth,
Youth.
depth.
Depth.
Good. Depth
With,
seems to be easier than width,
with,
even though the P and the D are both stop plosive sounds that have a very similar the p, b, b, d, d. Um, it's like a similar stop plosive feeling, except the P is going to be the lips and the D is going to be the flick of the tongue. And so we tend to struggle a bit more with the front quick movements of the tongue. So that's why the width is trickier because d, you have to move the tongue to flick and then move forward between the teeth really quickly. So they're very similar, but it's a difference in the tongue movement, and that's why that's trickier. Depth, width.
depth. With,
Mm-hmm. Width
depth.
is getting better though.
With,
Yes. Earth,
earth.
birth.
Birth.
Your R sounds are sounding really good today. That's awesome to hear. Death,
Death.
faith,
Faith.
wrath,
Wrath.
mirth.
Mirth.
Excellent. Yeah, there was a time when words like earth and mirth would have been really
Earth.
tricky, and those are sounding so much better now. That's great. Um, bequeath,
Bequeath.
betroth, that one's voiced. Betroth,
Bit, bit, betrothed. Betrothed.
betroth.
Betrothed.
So it's the t, crisp
Betrothed.
T to the R, like
Betrothed.
bet,
Bit,
or bit,
betrothed.
betroth.
Betrothed. Betrothed. Betrothed.
So try just saying roth,
Rose.
like row a boat with a voice th at the end. Roth.
Rose.
Try rogue, roth, like the rogue
Rogue.
wielded his sword, right? Rogue, roth.
Rogue. Rose.
Good.
Rogue.
Betroth.
Betrothed.
So try
Betrothed.
just the T to R. Tra, tra, tra.
Betrothed.
Good. Try saying troth, troth, betroth.
Betrothed.
Ah,
Sorry.
that's tricky. Yes. So try just the troth again.
Throw.
Troth.
Throw.
So just TR, tra, like train
Troth.
or trowel.
Troth. Travel.
Troth. Troth.
Troth.
Troth. And then try troth. 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 Yeah, that one is really tricky, that coordination. Now, betroth. 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 It's like you're wanting to say throw, like throw a ball, instead of tro, like trophy.
She's best throw.
Yes.
Throw. Throw. Betrothed.
The princess was
Betrothed. Betrothed.
betrothed to the prince from another land, right?
The princess
Betrothed.
was betrothed. The princess was betrothed.
It's not a word we use all the time, but it is a word that
Betrothed.
people would understand. It's less used now because we don't have arranged marriages. It's more of a like when you're a baby, your parents make a deal with someone else and say, "Hey, our child will marry yours." So that's less common in America now, but in some cultures it's still pretty prevalent. Like I know people from India who have had arranged marriages and it worked out really beautifully and they're happy and their families are friends and it's been really good. So they would be betrothed when they were younger. Their parents would have talked and said, "Hey, we'd love for our children to get married someday." I know someone else who she's mixed. She's half black and half white. And she married her parents' best friend's child. And it was always just kind of, I wouldn't say it was necessarily like, we'll force them to get married, but it was kind of a thing their whole lives where they just really wanted their kids to get married. So it was just kind of a known thing. And they did end up getting married like straight out of high school. So, and their parents have always been very supportive of that and kind of pushed them to that. Um, so so you could at times kind of use this word even in modern times. But it would be really common for things like nobility, back when there were nobles and kings and queens, for them to have betrothals where they would arrange marriages for their children. To create alliances with other lands was kind of the main purpose. But you could also say that after someone was engaged, they were betrothed. So you could say, they have a fiance, they're engaged, or they're betrothed to be married. So that would be more that they're committed to the possibility of getting married to that person, that they are engaged to that person. So you could have somebody was proposed to and they accepted, so now they are betrothed as well. So it really just means that they are going to be married in the future. So it's they are engaged to be married. I feel like you'd more often definitely hear engaged. We are engaged to be married. But you could have someone say, "This is my betrothed," or "I am betrothed to this person," or you could talk about a betrothal of another person. So it would be a little bit more formal, kind of Old English style. You definitely hear it in some like PBS Masterpiece Classics kind of movies or BBC shows kind of thing. Um, so it's a word that people know, but it's not as commonly used as engaged or I have a fiance, right? I am affianced. So,
Got it.
um, so engaged would be more common, but it's a great word to practice. So we ran into a few words today that were especially tricky. So I made a note of what those were and the combinations of sounds so that we can practice those more moving forward. I think the TH is a great place for us to be focused right now. And also specifically the TH into sounds that force the front of the tongue to change movements and shape quickly, or where that happens right before the TH. So, like a flick of the tongue or a quick change of the front of tongue shape before and after that TH. All right.
Okay.
Great work today, Robin.
All right. Thank you.
Alrighty, I'll see you Thursday. Have a great rest of your
See
week.
you Thursday.